Hey guys, welcome back to another Masters of the Universe video. Today I want to take a look at Man-at-Arms. I've got several versions here in front of me. We will start with the vintage. This would have been from that very first wave back in 1981. As you can see, he's on a little stand right here because he doesn't stand very well on his own. But you have all the vintage articulation. You got the spring back action. He does turn his head. He has removable armor. What I always thought was cool about this was the additional armor piece for his arm and his leg that kind of give him that, that soldier look. He does come with a mace. What was always interesting to me as a kid watching the show was that the show he had the mustache, but on the figure he didn't. So this is one of the standard releases. This one was, and I don't know if you'll be able to zoom in or not, but this one was actually made in Taiwan. But you had factories all over the place. So there's several different versions of them. I actually have another one here that's from Taiwan as well. But if you'll notice the boot color, I'm not sure how well that's going to show up on the camera. But the way the boots and even the trunks have a little bit of a different hue to them. Some of the releases had red dots painted on the helmet. Alright, so we will set him aside, and then we're going to take a look at something not everybody even knows exists. Okay, in the year 2000, Mattel released the Commemorative line, which was basically exact replicas of the original series. There was some differences though. He-Man's face sculpt was a little off. And one way you can tell if it is a commemorative versus the original, if you look at the bottom of the boots, you can see how there's that ridge. That's how you can tell that this is a commemorative from 2000 and not the original figure. I believe we can zoom in. You can see on the back there. All right. So I don't have his mace, but he came with a mace and everything is identical to the original. All right. So this is the Origins Man-at-Arms. For the most part, it's a pretty good recreation of that original, except this time Mattel was nice enough to give us that mustache that we were always looking for. The armor pieces are a little bit different. Not just the texture and the type of material that they used, but instead of the one piece for the arm, you now have two pieces. So you have the wrist, and then you have the part for his upper arm. Again, he has the shield, or the shin guard, I guess I should say, and he also comes with the mace. He has all that articulation. Another nice touch is they actually painted his hair. Whereas on the original figures, it was just, you could see the hair was sculpted, but it was just painted to match the helmet. So I'm assuming it was just a cost-cutting measure. But the Origins figure is actually it's a really nice figure, very well constructed. This was one of the first that I actually picked up from this line. So I was really happy to get that. So in 2021, they released the Eternian Guard figure, which is essentially Man-at-Arms, except he has a whole bunch of different accessories. And as you can see, his wrist guard got turned around, but for some reason the head on this one is loose too, which I have not addressed yet. But it's essentially the same figure. They did add some additional things, like the gauntlets are painted blue And you have the little jewel on the belt that's painted red. And you got this additional chest piece, or chest armor, that has that insignia on it. But you also got, in the box, you got the vintage head. And as well as the standard Man-at-Arms chest piece and his mace. As well as the staff. This was pretty neat, as it was the first time we were getting basically an army builder figure in the Masters of the Universe line. So I like it. It's neat. I wish it wasn't quite as flimsy as some of the others. Like I said, his head is wobbly, and his ankles are just a little bit loose. I don't know if it's just mine or if it's just a production issue for that figure. So now we'll bring in 2021's CGI series Man-at-Arms. He's still Duncan, as are all the other Man-at-Arms. The character's name is Duncan. But this time you basically are getting a teenager. He's still got a lot of the same kind of elements. He's got that prominent orange that reminds you of Man-at-Arms. But the overall look, to me, is more video game-ish, more like Metroid, something like that. He has your standard arm rotation. You can turn the head. You got the legs that can go back and forth. There's absolutely no rotation anywhere else on the legs. He doesn't have any additional articulation. I do think it is pretty neat, though, how you have the translucent plastic over the helmet so you can see his face underneath. That's pretty cool. And then he's got this ridiculous oversized mace. So they were keeping a lot of the elements of Man-at-Arms, but they just made him a kid. So this is not Tila's dad in this version. So one other figure that I have from the 2000X line, I don't have the initial release of Man-at-Arms, but I do have this one, and it is still mint on card. And I'm not going to open it here, but I thought it was worth taking a look at. The Battle Glove Man-at-Arms. That exaggerated glove. It's pretty neat. You can see what he looks like there. So it's a cool addition. Like I said, I'm not going to open it, but if I can pick up a loose one of the original release of Man-at-Arms, I would love to add that into this collection. I do like the variations here. And I dig having the commemorative Man-at-Arms, because that's not something you see a whole lot of, at least not loose. And I picked this one up loose. Those sets are pretty expensive to buy new, or at least buy still mint on card. So let's go ahead and get a few measurements here. We've only got a couple variations, so this won't take but a minute. Let me change over my camera. All right, so we'll start with, we're going to use the commemorative Man-at-Arms, because he actually will, somewhat stand on his own. And he is just shy of the 5.5 inch mark. Now the Origins Man-at-Arms, he's actually a little over the 5.5 inch. And our CGI Man-at-Arms looks like he's just a hair over 5 inches. So he's the shortest of the bunch. Now that 2000X series, those typically are right at the 6 inch mark. All right, so that's all I have today. Let me know in the comments, which is your favorite Man-at-Arms? Are you pro mustache, or do you like the non-mustache version? Or do you prefer the kid version of Man-at-Arms? Remember to like, share, and subscribe. and I'll see you next time. Thanks. I almost forgot one. It's the master of Macho Madness himself, Macho Man Randy Savage. This was released in 2020 as part of the WWE Masters of the WWE Universe line. And we have Macho Man styled after Man-at-Arms himself. So it's a little different. As you can see, the mace is a completely different sculpt. The shin guards come all the way up past the knee. And then his armor piece is modeled after the battle armor for Battle Armor He-Man. So I believe a lot of these pieces were taken from the Masters of the Universe Classics line. As you can see, even the helmet's kind of, it's got a little nod to Man-at-Arms. It is removable. All the pieces are removable. But yeah, I just wanted to throw this in here at the end. I almost forgot that I even had this guy. But yeah, it's pretty neat little addition. So I thought I'd put him up here next to the Origins Man-at-Arms, so you can kind of get a comparison of the two. Pretty neat. Thanks. Have a great day.